In this video, I'm going to show you how to do an edge finish. An edge finish is similar to that of a hem, but it's a little bit thinner than a normal hem. It's going to be about 1/4 inch in length. So we're going to start pinning, and I'm going to show you the different variations in which you can accomplish that. So this is the piece I'm going to be doing my edge finish on. It's going to be right along the bottom here. So you have 3 different options. If you have a serger or an overlock machine and you know how to use it, I would just finish the edge here, and then you fold it up 1/4 inch and stitch it again to secure it. I don't have a serger, but I want to make sure that my edge is also finished. So I'm going to do a regular zigzag stitch on my machine, my sewing machine. Just zigzag along the bottom as close as I can to finish that off. Then I fold it 1/4 inch just like the other option, and then I stitch it again to secure it in place. So then the last option, which I'm not going to do with this fabric just because it's kind of thick and I don't want it too bulgy down here. You fold it up 1/4 inch and you tuck a little bit of it under, and then you sew along the top of this fold here as close as you can without going over. So it gives it a really nice finish, and you can't see the edge, and you don't have to worry about your fabric unraveling if you have the type that can. But if you have thick fabric like I do, it might be a little bit too thick. So I'm just going to go ahead and zigzag finish my edge over at my machine. So I'm going to do the zigzag on my machine. Just have, you should see it either on a dial or on the top of your machine where you zigzag stitches. So you're just going to move it over to that, if that's your option. I'm just going to stick my needle in, put my foot down. And even though you do a zigzag stitch, I'm going to still do a back stitch just to make sure it doesn't come unwrapped on you. And you're just going to go along the edge as close as you can. And because it's going back and forth, it's not going to go as fast as if you just did a normal straight stitch. But yeah, you're just going to continue this all the way down. Alright, so I'm getting to the end here. I'm going to slow this down so you can actually see the needle is moving from left to right. And then once I get to the end, I'm just going to do a back stitch and finish it up. So then once we're done with this part, we can start folding, continuing our edge finish, and fold it under the 1/4 inch. So I'm going to do back stitch here, and that's it. So I finished my zigzag. And now I've already started to pin up 1/4 inch, so I'm going to need my sewing gauge. And I'm just going to fold up to what I think 1/4 inch looks like. I'm going to measure it with my sewing gauge, see if it matches. And then I'm going to put a pin in vertically. Now the one very important thing that you need to pay attention to is I'm folding up into the wrong side of the fabric. So this is the wrong side. This is going to be on the inside of the garment. This is the right side. So I'm folding up from the right side, which is going to be underneath, into the wrong side, because we want this to be on the inside of our garment. We don't want to see it. So once we sew it, it's going to be a nice clean finish on the right side of the garment. So that's what you have to pay attention to when you're doing this. So I'm just going to continue all the way, measuring 1/4 inch and sticking a pin in. So once I finish this, I've gotten all the way down to the end. I'm going to take it back to my machine, and I'm going to stitch right along the top here just to secure all this down into my machine, and it's going to be showing it as a nice stitch on this other side. So that's all I'm going to do at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing this. And I'm going to do it pretty close to the edges I can get. And don't forget to do a couple of back stitches. The only thing you want to do after this point, which I would highly recommend, is to iron your hem, just so everything lies flat and looks nice and clean and stuff. And that's all there is to doing an edge finish. So I'm just getting to the end here. I'm going to do another back stitch. Let's pull this out. So this is how it's going to look on the other side. Of course, I'm going to iron this so it lays flatter and it's more crisp. But that's how it looks on the right side of the fabric. And again, here's the wrong side of the fabric where we did a zigzag stitch. And that's it. That's how you do your edge finish.